Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking in your part of the internet on your Monday, man? Hope it's going good for you. Today I will tell you about Hands Across America. This one says May 25th, 1921 up there. See it? I'm talking about the real one. I just needed a logo. And that one won. Anyway, we're going to tell you about Hands Across America. Right now, though, if all two people in the room could like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, other things to serve the almighty algorithm. We must serve the algorithm. And then independent of that, we do have super chats. We do have memberships. We encourage you to avail yourself of those as we strive to reach our daily goal of any amount of money whatsoever. We have an actual financial goal that we need to reach to make this show viable, which is $50 a day. Yeah, we're not making that. So any amount of money, but the main thing I would like to encourage you to do is turn on your gifted memberships, Daddy-O, because people do, believe it or not, come in here once in a while and give free memberships out, and if yours are on, then you can get one, and can you dig it? Randy Ramos is here. He's an actual bona fide chef, and he is in the house. He apparently makes some fancy pizzas. He don't make like a regular pizza. Incidentally, I'm starving right now. I did the same thing I always do. I didn't eat all day, so I'm starving for the show. I did make a flatbread pizza before the show started. I'll pop it in the oven after we're done. This is your Starbucks triple shot energy. It's not bad. It's a little less intense than some of your energy drinks. It's also a little less effective. But what I'm going to tell you about it is this. You better drink this some bitch absolutely ice cold, because if it gets 5 degrees from ice cold, it's like drinking elephant. Can I say ejaculate? It's like what I would imagine drinking elephant. I have no firsthand experience. So, yeah. Hope you all had a good weekend. Mine went really fast. Super fast. As I'm sure yours did. But now we're here. We're on to Monday. Thursday, we will have another episode of Overrated, Underrated. Thinking about doing member shows on the weekend with guests. I can't get in any trouble for that, right? Well, it depends on the guest, I suppose. But anyway, that's what's going on. That's what's happening. I don't know what's happening in your guys' world. You can put it in the chat if you want. Gene says, oh, cool. Yeah, Gene, I actually have some, well, a lot of them are dying. I actually have some quasi-famous friends. I'm not kidding. Hold on a second. Hold on. I don't think you guys wanted to see me sneeze. You may have heard me sneeze, but I didn't. Today's T-shirt is property of the Carmel Greyhounds. Property of those Carmel Greyhounds. How about that, man? Double XL, 1981. Yeah, I got some quasi-famous friends. A lot of them have passed on. My famous movie director friend just passed away a few months ago. Kip Adada's been dead for a couple of years. I guess you could say many, not all, but many of my celebrity friends are so far into their celebrityness that they're now no longer that popular and will make friends with me. By the way, look at this collar. I've had this shirt for a number of years. I liked on Blunder Years today, John's collar. I swear to God, it looked like he was spreading it out for a picnic or something. It was so much, it was so much collar. It looked like, you know those blankets you put under a natural Christmas tree to catch all of the, yeah. That's what it looked like around his head. Gene said, you can do a show on anything. I can. Gene, throw something out there. I'll do a show on it. Anyway, I do have some friends that are fun to talk to. And I'm thinking about those will be the member shows on weekends. We'll just have that person on. And yeah, we'll just shoot the bull. We'll just kind of shoot the bull. We'll just throw it around, chew it up. I'm telling you. Ice cold, damn fine drink. 4 minutes from ice cold. It's a chore. And unfortunately, I have the somewhat unsatisfactory backup of Sprite Zero Sugar. I don't think Sprite Zero Sugar has caffeine in it. And we need caffeine. On the show. What else happened this weekend? Nothing. I didn't do nothing. Didn't do anything. Didn't go anywhere. Nothing. I did do my usual 6 a.m. trip to the Walmart to get groceries. And this particular time, I had to stop and get gas and do another couple things at 7-Eleven. Just grabbed a couple of items. So instead of getting to the place right at 6, I was there at like 6:15. Let me tell you something. There's a big difference between 6 o'clock and 6:15. There were actually other people there. Not a lot of them, but just enough. That, you know, the lady who parks in the aisle crossways so nobody can get, yeah, that lady was there. I'm the jerk that did say to her, hey, you know, if you put that at the end of the aisle, you can completely block the aisleway and then nobody can get in here. So because there were all of those people, I got a little edgy, a little nervy. And I made a beeline out of that place. Unfortunately, in my angst and tired head and red face of all the people that were in my way, I forgot to get some stuff. So now I'm going to have to go back this week. Gene says it doesn't. Well, thank you, Gene. That's very, very kind of you. Let's see. We got Reverend Wild Bill says, greetings from Hotlanta, where people, if you're on the 70, 80, whatever it is downtown there, 75, 85, whatever it is, they will drive a foot off of your bumper at 85 miles an hour. Nobody thinks a thing about it. That's just the way you just get used to it. Well, the NASCAR drivers are from down there. NASCAR. But other places, when they do that, you're in mortal terror. But you get real used to it. You know what I've seen more of in my life, particularly living here in Texas, that I never thought I'd see when I was growing up. Now, keep in mind, I grew up in Indianapolis, which is an area that's not that highly populated. But, you know, it's a relatively big city. And if you go onto the highway or, you know, certainly downtown, there's enough traffic that you're getting real big city traffic, okay? Close enough. Close enough. So, Also, city of Indianapolis, known for driving and known for driving at high speeds and very little else. People backing up on the highway. I never thought I'd see that. So people here will miss their exit. And if they miss it by a quarter of a mile and, oh, that was our exit back, they'll just start backing up, sort of half on the shoulder, half on the... What? You go up to the next exit and you turn around and you come back down. You don't back up. Here's another thing. Unless an animal runs into the road or some crazy construction thing happens or somebody strokes out at the wheel, I'm not accustomed to seeing brake lights on the highway. Now, maybe it's just because I'm an exceptionally good driver and I'm used to driving around people that are exceptionally good drivers. But when I'm on the highway, unless something major happens in front of me, I don't have to slam the brakes on. I just stop accelerating. Usually that'll take care of it. But brake lights on the highway, not used to it. Let's see. Reverend Wildbill says, going through the city is 75-85. That's right. It's 80-90 in Chicago. Stone Crab says, howdy from Key Largo, fellow gully teens. I like gully teens. Hey, Stone Crab, do you remember the show Son of the Beach? I have the box set, by the way. What was the guy's name? Notch Johnson. Notch Johnson was I think that's the name of the main guy. And he would start out there, hey, teens. I used to love, it's just so funny. Bumper to bumper, yep. Reverend Wild Bill has said, somebody 18 inches off your bumper doing 90 miles an hour, so are you, and nobody's nervous. Reverend Wild Bill says, Tom, I have seen in Texas when I was there, exits can be 10 miles or better apart. Yeah, it's Texas. They can be way more than 10 miles. But you weren't watching. You didn't know where you were going. Your penalty is you got to drive the back and the, also in some states, in the median, they have those cut throughs. You can pull a U-turn there. Although some states, they say that's for police use only. I don't know why, but some states it's that way. But other states, no, it's a mile up the road. You can pull a U-turn. See, you either look for that or you pay the stupid tax. I was trained at an early age by my parents. Hey, man, if you're the one that screwed up, you get to pay the stupid tax. Just smile, get through it, Gene says, they do that here. Dutchess, New York. Yeah. Remember, Bill says, I was going to say Texas has turnarounds in the mediums. I know you were. God forbid I should say it. Since I've lived here for this long. Let's see, Remember, Bill says, my parents would say, pay attention. Yeah. But you got to pay the stupid tax. Okay, you screwed up. Sin in haste, repent in leisure. It's just the way it's, and I've never been, it's like, hey, it's actually removed a lot of stress from my life. To just have that certainty of, hey, man, I screwed up, I got to eat it. Reverend Wild Bill says, I have some property for sale just outside Alice, Texas. Yes. I think you should will that to me. I've been to Alice. I know where Alice, Texas is. That's, let me see here about Alice, Texas. Welcome to Alice, Texas. Now, that's a 6-hour drive from where I live. Hell, it's an hour and a half by plane. It's going to be 90 there right now, and 94 tomorrow, 95 the next day. Seat of Jim Wells County. Population was 19,000. 2010 census. Well, it's 17,000. It's actually shrank in 2022. So, good old Alice, Texas. Let me see where the hell that's at. Direction. Let me see specifically where we're talking here. Get my car. Oh, good Christ, that's a 6 hour. That's a 6 hour drive, by God. And that's just straight south. Oh, you're just west of Corpus. I thought you were further west than that. Hell, dude, you're down there and able to get hit by a hurricane territory. Wild Bill says it's 2 acres of dirt with a shotgun shack on it. Well, Wild Bill, I may find myself living in a shotgun shack. A large automobile in a foreign part of the world. One of these days, Alice, to the moon. Yeah. Let's see here. Tom, Alice is the biggest city near us other than Brownsville. Oh, okay. All right. Well, you're going to have to will that to me. Wow. We've got people dropping off like flies. We've only got 4 people watching this piece of crap right now. I'm tempted not to do a show. What the hell else is on? It's Monday night. Well, Monday Night Football, I guess, is a powerful lure for some folks. Don't you know? Well, okay, I might as well open up my thing, right? Don't you think I should open up my thing? Don't you guys think I should open up my thing? Really? Isn't it time? Tempt. I don't know what I'm tempting there, but yeah, you can get hit by a hurricane. That's not far away from us. Anywhere near the Gulf scares the crap out of me because you're just going to get all that weather. Up here, where I'm at, we get a little of it. You know, we get some occasionally, but we don't get what they get. So I likes me some West Texas out there by Marfa, in the middle of nowhere, and nobody near you. You better have something to catch the rain, because otherwise. Oh, here he is. It is the one, the only, the living legend, SG Fanboy. Says, sorry I'm late. I've been talking with my son, explaining to him that if I get another call from his school, my foot goes up his ass. Oh, wow. SG, you just opened up a whole can of worms. Good to see you, by the way. And by the way, I'd like to reiterate, like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all this stuff that serves the almighty algorithm. We also have memberships. We also are monetized, so you can super chat us. We do have a goal daily. We haven't met it yet, and that goal is any amount of money. And then we have a business goal, which is $50 a day, which there's no chance in hell we're going to reach that ever, as long as I live. But we do have that as a goal. Okay, SG Fanboy. You seem like a really talented, free-thinking, intelligent person. So I'm not going to tell you how to parent your kids. But I am going to tell you a story about the way I was brought up. And my dad, you know, and a lot of parents had this back then, and some may now, but he had a policy. He's like, hey, look, you get in trouble at school, and getting in trouble at school meant getting paddled. You could still get paddled at school when I went to school. But it could mean a number of other things. Getting called to the principal's office, having to do detention, a lot of other things. But he's look, if you get in trouble at school, you might as well know you're getting it 10 times worse than when you know, are at school. The school's going to seem like a picnic after what we do to you here if you get in trouble at school. And then he took it further. And this is the part that actually resonated with me, that got into my little junior high school head. He said, I don't even care if the teacher's wrong. I don't even care if there's a bunch of kids doing something wrong and you're just standing 20 yards away watching them. If they drag you in with the rest of them, well, you should have been smart enough not to be on their radar. That's 90% of what this is you should be smart enough not to get in trouble. When you see the trouble happening, you know it's trouble. There's no, well, I wonder if we're supposed to be doing. No, you know. So you either get away from it or you figure out a way that it doesn't splash up on you. But if you're so stupid that you get in trouble without doing anything, that's a problem. That's a big problem. So you should get in trouble for that. Anyway, just a little for you, SG fanboy. Then came the next speech. Hey, you know all those clothes downstairs in your closet and your dresser? Guess who those belong to? Unless you got them as a Christmas gift from your grandparents, yeah, those are all mine. I bought them. I own them. I'm letting you use them, but they're all mine. All that furniture down there, that's mine too. You don't own anything but a precious few gifts. Okay? If you don't think I will take away every major creature comfort or diversion in your life, you are crazy. I'll make it so you will love doing homework and chores just for something to do. It was a wonderful way to grow up. Let's see. By the way, I'm not joking. Boundaries. Yay, it's time for Tom to open up his thing. Hey, don't you worry about it, Karen. My thing is always open for you. Reverend Wild Bill says, I've been in hurricane parties. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Hey, we're just going to party through the hurricane. Yeah, okay. Nothing like trying to swim when you're drunk. People saying hi. Most cheerful chat room on the internet is verified by independent sources. What was it? As verified by J.D. Byrider or one of those other fake, we'll give you an award because you paid us money. Reverend Wild Bill says, mainly when I lived in Florida. Yeah, Florida people loves them a hurricane party. People saying hi. Oh, no, SG. Yeah, SG, that's it. The Reverend Wild Bill, generous to a fault, has given us $2 toward our goal today. Thanks for the $2, Reverend Wild Bill. He says goal. He also says, I love those wooden rulers across the palm of the hand. Palm? Well, you had it easy. I got them on the knuckles. Hurt for the rest of the day. I got it on the knuckles, and Wild Bill, where I grew up, it was cold all the time. So you get in there with your frozen solid hands, and Sister Mary Discipline just steel rulers you. Reverend Wild Bill, know how to fly below the radar. Very important in life and life. SG Fanboy says, if I got in trouble at school, I got 3 ass whoopings. One from Dad, one from Mom, and one from my stepfather. Yeah. Stonecrab says, another stupid tax. You got that right. SG Fanboy says, Drupa, oh yeah, what? Me worry? Are you talking about Afrani Newman? By the way, this hair's got to be cut. It's getting way too long. Gotta love those nuns. Oh yeah, the nuns. Yeah, those nuns were always in a good mood. Okay, Hands Across America. Let me open up my thing here. Let me tell you about Hands Across America. Look at that. Look at that, folks. That's what we used to be as a country. All right. It's going to be hard for some of those youngsters out there to understand, like so many things. But that's what I'm here for. Hands Across America was a fundraising event that was held on March 25th, 1986. This is Memorial Day weekend. And what it tried to do was to create a continuous, unbroken human chain of people's hands across the contiguous United States. And you say, well, how can they do that? And what was that? And I say, well, let me just first of all show you the route. This is what they wanted. They wanted people from New York City all the way to Los Angeles on this route that you see, which takes a few weird bends, if you ask me, around Cleveland and Chicago up there, but whatever. Yeah, that's what they wanted, from yay to yay, okay? They almost did it. The chain, unfortunately, was broken in a lot of places, mostly in the southwestern desert. In those areas where there's, like, for instance, when I did it, I drove a long way, like 45 miles or something to get to the section that they wanted me on, okay? In the southwestern United States, there's many places where there's nobody within 5 or 6 hours. I mean, there's not enough people to make that happen. Now, the number of people that they had do this, 5.5 million people, probably could have made that chain the whole way. But, the remote areas, killed them. Where they had gaps, they would sometimes put ribbons or ropes or banners. Now, if you participated in this, you were encouraged, you weren't required, but you were encouraged to donate $10 to be assigned a place in line. And not to put too fine a point on it, but 1986 was nearly 40 years ago, and let's just say $10 was worth a lot more now then than it is now. Sorry. I mean, I could get into a concert, a big concert, like a major act, for $10. At an arena. Anyway. So this whole thing was sort of promoted and organized by one of the co-founders of USA for Africa, which we've covered here on the show. And those are the people that did We Are the World and all that stuff. They announced this at a press conference in late 1985. And when they did, they had messages from, by the way, this thing is just coated with stars like We Are the World was. Bill Cosby, Kenny Rogers, and at the time, a non-disgraced Pete Rose. Okay? Coca-Cola sponsored this event, and they covered the operating costs of nearly $20 million. More than 700 other companies stepped up to be part of Hands Across America. Citibank, McDonald's, Ticketmaster, Safeway, all of them sponsored and marketed the event, and tickets, and grocery bags, and everything else. So, yeah. There was a theme song entitled Hands Across America. Yes, it was written by a bunch of people that you don't know, and it was actually sung by a couple people that you don't know, and it was backed up by Toto, the band Toto. So I'll just say we've declined a little from We Are the World. Michael Jackson jumped in and said We Are the World should not be played while advertising or anything else for Hands Across America. Yipe. The other song was distributed across the nation and didn't do as well as We Are the World. It peaked at number 65 on the Billboard Hot 100, so it never did anything. Yeah. While people like you and me were asked to donate $10 to stand in the line, yeah, celebrities and companies could sponsor sections of the line. and they had to pay $13,000 a mile. Yeah. And the very first person to buy such a mile was I never mean to cause you any problems. Prince. Prince was the very first person to buy a mile. What do you think about that? There you go. Prince was the first person. Well, let's show you some more people making that chain, baby. Making that chain. Yeah. Political organizers were drafted to get this to happen. Okay, they couldn't just say, hey, you sign up and we'll do this. They had to plan this like crazy. Fred Draws, you may see him on CSN and other shows now. He's gone kind of loopy, but he used to be a really respected guy. Donna Brazile, who would later become the Democratic National Committee chairperson, and she was the director of Hands Across America in Washington. So this thing was in sort of a pyramid fashion where people sort of handed down their responsibilities to organize to make it happen on a state, regional, city, basis. It was really hard to do this in rural and remote areas. Yeah. So there you go. Bus rides were organized to transport large groups of people to distant spots along the route. Local organizers and communities that the chain passed through, many of which had never even had tourists before, suddenly had to provide food and porta potties and all sorts of other stuff. However, no major injuries or anything else during this event, and no claims were ever filed against Hands Across America's insurance policy. So that whole portion of people getting out there and doing this actually went pretty well. So in the days leading up to the event, they made it clear, look, we would like $10, but you don't have to have $10 to do this. People were encouraged to bring portable radios and boom boxes. And by the way, can I just get on my little soapbox here for a second to say, you can't buy a quality boom box anymore. I think it was back in, I don't know when. It was probably in the 90s that I bought a boom box, a Sony. It was one of those sort of oblong curved ones, had a CD player, had a tape player, cassette tape player, and an AM/FM radio and weather. And try finding one of those now. You can't. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway, everybody was encouraged to bring a radio or a boom box so that you could listen to the nationwide simulcast of the event, which was on thousands of radio stations across the country. Now, leading up to the event, the radio broadcast played I Want to Hold Your Hand. Get it? Dancing in the Street. Get it? This Land Is Your Land. Get it? Okay, at 3 p.m. Eastern, everyone was instructed to join hands. Then everybody sang We Are the World, the Hands Across America song that Toto worked on and those unknown people. And then America the Beautiful. And in many of the locations, the newspaper published the lyrics of the song in the newspaper. So now the event, the holding of hands, the singing of songs, and all of that took 15 minutes. All that lead up and everything. Yeah. The eastern end of the chain began in Battery Park, New York, within view of the Statue of Liberty. The first person in line was 6-year-old Amy Sherwood, whose family had been living in a local welfare hotel until recently. Notable participants at the beginning of the chain, the start of the chain in Battery Park, New York Governor Mario Cuomo, Mayor Ed Koch, Senator Alphonse D'Amato, who I have met Interesting story. Ask me about it sometime. Yoko Ono, Harry Belafonte. Was there any of this stuff Harry Belafonte didn't worm his way into? Helen Hayes, famous American actress. Lily Tomlin, some of you may know her. Kool and the Gang. Bianca Jagger, who was Mick Jagger's main squeeze at the time. Edward James Olmos, who's that famous Hispanic actor that you could... I love him as an actor. But his face would hold a 3-day rain. Just a lot of... Liza Minnelli. Yeah. Over 200,000 people tried to join this thing in New York, which is 5 times more people than they needed to cover the 12-mile stretch across most of Manhattan. And some of those people were Glenn Close, William Hurt, Sam Waterston, who's on Law and Order. Brooke Shields and Miss USA stood at the New York-New Jersey border. In New Jersey, the route passed through Newark, New Brunswick, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? It's New Jersey. The governor was there, but he was joined by Joan Rivers. There you go. I'm just going to list some of the famous people. In Philadelphia, several members of the Philadelphia Eagles were there. Grover Washington Jr., for those of you who know music, you know who he is. In addition to Joe Frazier Jr. in front of Joe Frazier's gym on Broad Street. There was so much interest in South New Jersey that they added a spur to the route, crossing the Benjamin Franklin Bridge from Philadelphia into Camden. And Dionne Warwick joined that line with her psychic friends Tony Danza and Lainey Kazan. There you go. In Washington, D.C., they went by the U.S. Capitol where Billy Graham spoke, and Ronald Reagan and his family participated. Coretta Scott King and her children participated. Reagan had said that he was not going to join this chain. I'm not going to join that chain. However, in the days leading up to the event, the president made a controversial remark. Where there is hunger, you have to determine that that's probably because of a lack of knowledge on the part of the people as to what things are available. Not a good remark. Shortly after his comments were criticized in the press, Reagan announced he and his family decided at the last minute to join Hands Across America, although Press Secretary Larry Speakes denied there was any correlation. We all know there was a correlation. I mean, I know my way around a correlation. Trust me. The greatest number of participants of any state in the chain were Ohio, where the route admittedly zigzagged all over the place. Celeste Holm, Dr. Benjamin Spock. Celeste Holm was a very famous actress. Okay, and Dr. Benjamin Spock was the nation's leading pediatric expert. Don Novello participated. You may know him as Father Guido Sarducci. John Glenn, famous astronaut. David Copperfield in Cincinnati. I don't believe he made the city disappear. Now, this event fell on the same day as an event very close to my heart, which is the Indianapolis 500, that's why they did not go through Indianapolis. Forget it on, race day. In Denver, Indiana, a bunch of people from Fort Wayne were going to, join there, but they didn't show up from Fort Wayne. Notable participants in Chicago included Oprah Winfrey, Mayor Harold Washington, Super Bowl champion quarterback Jim McMahon of the Chicago Bears, Walter Payton was supposed to attend, but he couldn't. He could not. In Missouri, Kathleen Turner was there. Everybody showed up. Ryan's Hope, which was a sort of a soap opera, its stars showed up in the Mississippi, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee border. The official midpoint of the line was in Ripley, Tennessee. 14,000 people were there to see Judy Collins, Brenda Lee, the Marshall Tucker Band, Lynn Anderson, Terry Gibbs, and General Hospital's Andre Lanzat. I don't even know who the hell that is. In Memphis, you had Mel Tillis, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins, as you might expect. In Arkansas, future President Bill Clinton, his wife Hillary, and daughter Chelsea joined the chain. The longest segment of the route was right here in Texas. Texas, yeah. And that stretched over 600 miles from Texarkana to Glen Rio. East of Dallas, okay, disabled members of paraplegics on independent nature trips formed a line of kayaks across Lake Ray Hubbard to keep the chain going. Participants in Dallas included Mickey Leland. Anybody? Mickey Leland. He's a politician. Tony Bennett. Y'all remember Tony Bennett? I Left My Heart in San Francisco. Tony Dorsett, famous Dallas cowboy. Kenny Rogers and Lee Greenwood were on the back of a flatbed truck straddling the border between Texas and the New Mexico border there with the ghost town of Glen Rio here in Texas. A very famous town here in Texas. The band Renegade performed for the crowd out there. Lance Guest from James at 15 and Michael Ironside, who you guys might remember from Starship Troopers, Regex Roughnecks, also in Scanners and a lot of other things. They were in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. In Stanley, New Mexico, Robert Prosky, which is a weird name. You'll have to look him up. He was on Hill Street Blues and a million other things. He was in Thief. He was in The Natural. Anyway, Michael Madsen. You're going to bite little dog? You're going to sit there and bark little doggy? You're just going to bite. Billy Zane, villain from Titanic. All there in New Mexico. West of Albuquerque, a biker's mile featured Mickey Jones, famous drummer, Alex English, famous basketball player, and Holly Palance. Holly is Jack Palance's daughter. Anyway, in Gallup, New Mexico, Don Johnson, Reverend Jexy Jackson were there. I don't know if you guys even care about this. In Navajo, Arizona, Ray Parker Jr., who you're going to call Ghostbusters. Harvey Villachez, Tattoo from the fabulous Fantasy Island program. B.J. Thomas out in Flagstaff. Egg Bagley Jr. and Thelma Houston. Thelma Houston stood at Sunset Point near Black Canyon City, north of Phoenix. You guys, Thelma Houston? Don't leave me this way, baby. My heart is full of love and desire for you. Thelma Houston. Sorry. It's a personal favorite of mine. Blythe, California. Senator Alan Cranston, Bo Derek, Shelley Duvall, just passed away a couple weekends ago. Anson Williams, you know him better as Potsy Weber on Happy Days. Gerald Ford, Frank Sinatra out at Rancho Mirage, the high ticket area. Bob Seger, you guys know Bob Seger. Charlene Tilton from Dallas joined the chain in Riverside, California. Cesar Chavez stood in East Los Angeles. Chain made up of largely homeless people ran just past the shelters and soup kitchens of Skid Row. Tom Bradley was joined by Drew Barrymore and Leslie Uggams. Any Leslie Uggams fans out there? She was pretty popular there for a while. Near Sportsman's Lodge in San Fernando Valley, Steven Spielberg, Stacy Keach, Tracy Nelson, Ricky Nelson's daughter, LeVar Burton, Richard Dreyfuss, Gregory Peck, still alive at the time, Sidney Poitier in Beverly Hills, Diane Cannon. Hey, man, I think Diane Cannon's still alive. I don't care if she's 104, doesn't have any teeth. Send her over here for a couple hours. Tom Hayden, Jeff Bridges. The western end of the route was in Long Beach at the mooring site of the Queen Mary. Celebrities there included Lyle I Can't Eat Enough Steroids, Alzado, Sherry Belafonte, Harry Belafonte's daughter, Whoopi Goldberg, Dudley Moore, Donny Osmond, Daniel J. Traviani from Hill Street Blues, who incidentally you never saw again after Hill Street Blues. Cicely Tyson, Ben Vereen, Raquel Welch, Donna Mills, and Kenny Loggins. Beach Boys were not there. One of their tributes bands was there. And John Stamos happened to be there. Now, the number of participants, they were shooting for 5,700,000, and they got, and this is amazing to me, they really got an amazing turnout. 5,442,960. So they got 95% of the number of people that they wanted. It's a little misleading. New York, for example, only needed 33,000 people, but they got 150,000 participants. And when you get to like Arizona, they needed 649,000 people. They got 200,000 people. Some of those remote places just needed so many people. That's what you had. That's what you had. So, and that's to cover 4,314 miles. That's, there were a lot of related events. A lot of the states, they had Hands Across America. A lot of the states would do Hands Across Massachusetts or Hands Across Bergen County, whatever it happened to be. Organizers had hoped that Hands Across America would raise $50 million and $100 million, between $50 million and $100 million, making it one of the largest charity fundraisers in history. The total amount was estimated at $36 million, with $27.8 million coming from individuals and another $8.6 million donated by corporations. Thanks, corporations. No. Yeah. So, Hands Across. God, dog it! I kicked the hiccups right at the end of the show. Not even in the end of the show. I've been getting the hiccups a lot lately. It's troublesome. Hands Across America was the last in a series of very widely publicized celebrity sponsors charity events from the mid-1980s. And as a boomer, I say to you other generations, you're welcome. What have you been doing? Now that it's a lot easier to just have a concert and have people donate. Yeah, this is what we did. And that followed Band-Aids, Do They Know It's Christmas, We Are the World, Live Aid, Farm Aid, Comic Relief. By the time Hands Across America was staged, a lot of Americans were skeptical about the effectiveness and the purpose behind these events. And even the organizers started going, hey, we did this thing and now we have the money. It's getting used for other stuff. Bob Geldorf said, compassion fatigue has set in. Basically, they just reached the saturation part of these big events to raise money. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. It was followed up by a thing called Brands Across America, which was a real heavy-handed corporate buy our products effort. You would buy their products and you would send in a proof of purchase, and then the manufacturer would donate part of the proceeds. And it's like, well, that's just you selling more stuff, and giving a little bit. Hands Across America has been in popular culture for a long time. From The Simpsons to Michael Jackson videos to the Goldbergs to you name it. So yeah, that's just everything I can tell you about Hands Across America. And now to your comments. It took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. Boy, I was running off at the mouth there. Can you dig it? Let's see what you folks say there. Gotta love it. What kind of meat can a priest eat on Friday? I don't know. And by the way, priests can eat meat on Friday as long as it's not Lent. What do you think about that? A bunch of espresso martinis. Yeah, no doubt, Stone Crab. The Wolf is here. Says hello. People saying hi. People saying hi. People saying hi. People saying hi. The most cheerful chat room on the internet is verified by independent sources. Gene says, my school wanted us to fundraiser for kids two in the chain. I didn't care to help getting money. Yeah, it's... Wolf says, I have an Iowa box that is very nice. That is very nice. Wild Bill says, and unless it has 6 or more speakers on it, it's not a boom box, and it takes 8 or more D-sized batteries to run it. Yeah, I was like that chamber in the back of the boom box that, had a door on it the size of a small refrigerator, spots for 12 D-sized batteries. Had the little ribbon in there so you could put them in and then yank it out to make them all pop out. The Wolf says, I have a couple of Toto albums. Karen Garvey says, they still send kids out to raid money. I feel bad for them. Yeah, those kids don't. Anyway. Wolf says, 2-speaker woofer and tweeter. Sounds great. It is good enough. This comes from a man that has 24 speakers and many high wattage surround systems. That's for damn sure. Mine had woofer, mid, tweeter, 6 total. All right. Reverend Wild Bill says, sorry, Karen Garvey says, you could open a museum. My boombox died around 2010. I had a little black one, but I gave it to a chick. But I had this Sony that I can just see in my head. And it's like, why aren't they still making those? And now if you want one, it doesn't have cassette. It's got Bluetooth everything on it. Speakers locked on, but could be separated. Yeah, mine couldn't be separated. My speakers on one of my 2 Iowa systems can be unhooked and deployed like regular stereo. My 8-track would do that. It was a giant cube. I think I said this the other day, and the halves of the cube would separate from each other, and you could. But I remember going to the first drive-in movies I ever went to that they didn't have the speaker you hung on the inside of your window. They actually had a low-watt FM radio signal that you listened to. And I knew it was going to have that. And I knew I didn't want to run my car's battery down. So I brought my boom box and put it in the back seat. Oh my God. It was 50 times better than my car. Awesome. One system is 300 watts. Yeah, Wolf ain't messing around with his media stuff. Wild Bill says, mine took up almost the back seat of my AMC Javelin. Yeah, and it would have made your Hornet pop a wheelie if it was in the back seat. Randy says they should have done it around Speedway and have everybody that was going in the track hold hands. That would have been cool. That would have been a drunken mess. is what that would have been. People puking on everybody's shoes. That would have been awful. Wow, big gets. Damn right. Randy, are you speaking of the pageantry? That'll be hard to do with 45,000 people and babies swimming in mud puddles. Well, 245,000 is a very conservative estimate, if you ask me. Tito Jackson, dead at 70. Gone, but not forgotten. Other than, I think, one baseball player, does anybody here know anybody else named Tito? I think I know somebody with a last name of Tito. But, the Wolf says, Ed Begley, cameraman for Equinox. Ed Begley Jr. The Wolf says, growth hormone got Alzado, not juice. That's right. Sure. He was discriminating. Of course, heart failure might have got him later. Well, yeah, the eventual thing that got him might have been growth hormone. I don't know. But I think it's pretty well documented. He was eating steroids before that other stuff. And wearing his dumb bandana after his brain cancer. Wanting us to all feel sorry for him after he's made millions of dollars and he's got the smoking hot wife and everything else. And it's like, somebody came up to me and said, look, Tom, right now, today, you can have riches and career success and a smoking hot wife for 20 years, but then you're going to die. Where do I? Reverend Wild Bill says, or the senior group, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. I represent that. The Wolf says, the Iowa has the space to hold 8 batteries, 2 cassette players, and 1 CD player on top. Tito Jackson, gone and forgotten before he was gone. Tito's vodka. Yeah. Tio Sancho. Isn't there a Tio Sancho? That's Tio, though. Tito is a different matter. The growth hormone caused the brain tumor. I'm sure that did. It just grew him big. Wolf and I talk about it all the time. Growth hormone? Yeah, it grows stuff. Hope you don't have anything bad in there. Hope you don't have a little touch of leukemia, because guess what? Hope you don't have a little touch of predisposition to pancreatic cancer. Hope you don't have a little touch of something bad, because if you do, that HGH gonna grow it like Farmer Brown. That's what happened to our good friend Lyle Alzado. Let's see here. Everyone say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. Good seeing you, Randy. Nice to see you. Hey, by the way, Tito Fuentes. Tito Puente. You thinking of Tito Puente? That's the only other Tito that I know. We would like to thank our good friend Reverend Wild Bill for being so generous today. He would be our only benefactor today, so we thank him very much. No, it doesn't really hurt that we only made $2 today. What hurts is I can make $2 every day for a million years. It wouldn't bother me a bit. Good show, Tom. It worked. Bedtime and thank you. Peace. Thank you, Reverend Wild Bill. See, the problem that I have, and thank you again, Reverend Wild Bill, what hurts is when I watch Steel Toe or Rob Saul, or to a certain extent, Stuttering John. Let's just take Stuttering John out of the picture. Those other two guys, that's what hurts. That's what hurts. Let's see here. SG Fanboy says, I think Hands Across America was a psyop to see if they could manipulate people into doing something stupid. You think, SG, maybe it was a psyop to see, hey, some of our nuclear weapons, depending on whether they're detonated, won't affect people that are in their homes or basements or shelters. I wonder if there's a way we could get them to all go outside at the same time. Hey, I know. Help your fellow man. Stone Crab says, Tito Kahuna. I don't know about that. Doopa-doopa-doo says, people hate watch Steel Toe and SJ. I could use some hate watching. I watched Shuli's show, and they're laughing their butts off because John's making $200 a show. And I'm like, I may not crack $200 for the month. That hurts. Fix stupid. Yeah. If you duck and cover, you're safe. Yeah, you're safe. You're safe up to the moment that you're burned to a cinder. So there you are. Hands across America. Can you dig it? Hope you enjoyed it. I don't know what tomorrow's show is going to be about. I know Thursday's show is going to be overrated, underrated. That's what we're doing Thursday. And is there another show on right now, or am I just that awful? We haven't hit double digits since this show began. Jesus Christ. Hey, SG Fanboy, the living legend, says, one for the goal. Thank you for the $10, SG Fanboy. I got to say it, and I say it all the time, and I'm going to say it again. SG Fanboy does more cool stuff for this show than I do. If I wish StreamYard wasn't so wonky about the number of images you can show. I should be able to show images all day. And I've already got them converted to PDF like they require. But I can only load like 9 or 10 of them at a time. Otherwise, we do a whole show where all we do is look at SG Fanboy's AIs. They're incredible. Overrated. The Wolf says, the Warrior's right. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Perry is on. Okay, now see, and I know Bob Levy and Perry are buddies, and Bob loves his show. I got to tell you, there's things in the world that I watch, and I realize they're not for me. And I say, that's not for me, but I get why some people watch it, and more power to them. My viewpoint doesn't, supersede anything. People like things, they like them. Let them like them. Don't worry about it. Perry, I just don't get. It's like torturing the autistic kid at the bus stop. Just doing little things that make him melt down. That's not entertaining to me at all. He's not entertaining to me. The screaming and just the over-the-top yelling and screaming over nothing. I'm starting to think I need to develop some huge character flaw to be successful at this. Just an idea. But Perry, I just don't get. I'm not cracking on Perry. I'm not cracking on anybody that likes Perry. I'm saying, me, personally, I don't get it. I have tried and tried and tried and just don't get it. Look, there were those kids in school. There was one kid, if you told him you were going to step on his feet, he freaked out. You didn't even have to try to step on his feet or act like you were going to step on his feet. I'm going to step on your feet. I'm going to step on you. That's because SG is legendary. SG is legendary. Talented dude, man. Reverend Wild Bill says, come out and play. Warriors, come out and play. I actually have both of those sound effects as a drop, but I'm not opening that up now. A lot of shows are on right now, says Karen Garvey. Yeah, well. This is apparently not in the consideration set of most people. And their numbers are lower than normal. Okay. To each their own, says Reverend Wild Bill. Yeah, if you like Perry, good Lord, get hip deep in it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. People like what they like. I'm just saying, for me, there's just nothing there. I mean, less than nothing. Monday Night Football, that's true. Stone Crib. I agree. What with Perry? Fish sandwiches? Yeah, I don't get it. Reverend Wild Bill says sports bars on Monday and Thursday night. Nah, not necessarily Thursday, because Thursday we have big nights here. I would say Tuesdays and Thursdays might be our biggest thing. Thanks, Wolf. I can't deal with the drunk guy. It's not your cup of tea. Yeah, it's not for me. Not for me. There are some shows out there, though, that's like, what am I doing wrong? If this is making that much and I get $1.50 a show, something's wrong. The Wolf says, I'm still trying to figure out that drunk guy. I saw it once and that was enough. Well, that's actually a pretty valid response to what I said about Perry. Especially since John's show is the same every time. There's nothing new there. I don't care for PC either. Isn't that what we're talking about, Perry Caravello? I thought that's what we were talking about. Yeah, Perry. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Those other two shows, though, they're just like, God damn. There's some novelty with Steel Toe right now because of all the crap he's going through. I see that. That's a reason for him to be. But Rob Saul? You guys may think you've faced a few crucibles in your life. Crossroads, catharsis. Maybe you have. Maybe you've battled some things and I'm just not aware of them. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Get this shirt straightened out here. But I'll tell you this. Until you get up every day after your 3 o'clock nap, and you say to yourself, you got to do a show today. And then you say to yourself, Rob Saul made more on his show today than you will make this month. Where's that sharp knife we keep around here? Is that nearby? Anyway. Perry was acting like Sam Kinison the other day. I can't. Sam Kinison. Yeah, I figured it was Sam Kinison. I just don't know what is going on there. I'm sorry, I just don't. I wish I did. I wish I was that smart. I'm not. I wish I was smart enough to get this show in front of more people outside the Dabbleverse. I'll start asking for advice here as soon as I fix some other things. But boy, oh boy, doing this show, okay, fine. I enjoy that. But then you start looking around and you're like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then I find out a whole bunch of people that watch this show watch it and they love it when I freak out. And I'm like, is that what this is? Is this just the freak out world we live in or whatever? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. But I do know this. You've really let your uvula go to the dogs. Nobody even knows what I'm talking about there. That's okay. That's why, see, if you do a show that's for smart people, dumb people won't watch it. Pervitine, exactly. If you do a show for the pervitine crowd, the meth crowd just won't watch it. Anyway, I wish I had some more to say. I got a big day tomorrow. I got lots of stuff to do. You know, they can't understand it. They don't. It's not entertaining to them. Although, I mean, I can't blame them. This show isn't that entertaining. I mean, it's not that good, okay? It's not. All right. Well, it was wonderful having you folks again, as usual. I really do appreciate all of you being here. You're really great people. I'd really super like to thank our good friends, the Reverend Wild Bill, for his generosity, and also SG Fanboy. And SG Fanboy does so much awesome stuff for this show. God. And SG Fanboy allowing us to sort of, you know, vicariously experience disciplining a child. It's having problems at school. I can't get enough of that. Hey, when you get home, do you like all of the shows on TV, on demand, and streaming and everything? You do. You like those. Do you like your cell phone? Well, you do. Do you like the Wi-Fi and whatnot you can use on your laptop or your tablet or your desk? Do you like that? All those? Yeah. Tomorrow I'm turning all of those off, and you will not be able to use them for the next 6 weeks until you get your next progress report and or report card. And on that date, if your grades are where they need to be, then you get all those things back. But until that day, for the next 6 months, you will do without them. How am I supposed to do my homework if I can't be on the computer? Down in the basement, along the back wall, you'll see something that says Encyclopedia Britannica. And it has A through B, and you know, just use that. But I don't know, how am I going to type up my type? You won't be typing it, you'll be writing it out by hand. But what if my teacher said I have to submit it on the computer? Take a picture of it and submit it that way. SG says he doesn't have a phone, but I took his TV and PS5. He ain't too happy. Well done, SG. Well done. The only problem with that is sometimes when you take all that crap away, they learn to do without it. And it ceases to have any leverage, but most kids today can't do without it. Not all of them, just some of them. Yes. Karen Garvey said school just started. Hopefully SG Jr. will settle in and be okay. Yes, hopefully he'll buckle down. And by the way, I will admit that when you first get to school is the busiest that it is. Because you got football and the start of school and all of the homecoming and and all that stuff. Slows down after that. But if you get derailed at the start of the year, you're going to be behind the rest of the year. I didn't have those things when I grew up. Me neither. All I had was roller skates that you had to clamp onto your tennis shoes, tighten up with a key, and you eventually lost the key. So when your feet grew, the skates were no good anymore. By the way, the skates had metal wheels. So if you landed real hard on them, now one of the sides of all four wheels was a little bit flat because it was a metal wheel and it got bent. That's good, SG, yes. Reverend Bill says, my punishment was made of leather. SG says, Karen Garvey, hopefully he knows better already, though. And then Reverend Wild Bill, Misty Family says, mine too. I try to refrain from that unless they disrespect their mother, though. That's the one thing they're not going to do under any circumstance. Yeah. When I was teaching, a lot of people would say, oh, how do you deal with those kids? I mean, what do you mean? Well, aren't they just awful? And don't they try to get under your skin and blah, 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 blah. Well, I hold the power of the report card. And there ain't a teenager on earth that can sweat me. I can put so much pressure on those kids. No, I don't worry about that. I learned that in coaching. I don't have to be a teacher for that. Reverend Wild Bill says, when I grew up, you didn't even tell your mother no without a spanking. Yeah. You get to say no a lot. I was always on the butt. Yeah. Yep. Oh my God. We're so far over time. Oh my God. I hope I didn't ruin Perry's numbers. Anyway. Hey, would love it if you could like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all those things, almighty algorithm. But really, what I can really use is spreading the word. If you can get some other folks to listen to this thing or some other shows, go on some other chats and spread the word, whatever you can do, be appreciated. Anyway, with all that being said, I guess the only thing left to say is we hit the goal, so it's bonus time. We hit the goal. We didn't hit the financial goal. All right, look. 4 weeks in a month, 5 shows a week. That's 20 shows. So our financial goal is to average $50 a show. That's where we want to get to, because that's $1,000 a month. Which, for the amount of time I put in on this, that's about where it should be, probably. Oh, God. So, yeah, there's 2 goals. Anyway. Till next time. We'll see you next time.